Hello everyone, this is Cameron, and today I'm going to give you a special video. This is my Transformers collection. Now, I've been meaning to do this for a long time, and basically how this is going to work out, there are three separate parts of this. This is basically what you see now of the Transformers at my mum's house, and next you'll see the ones at my dad's house. Now there'll be another part where basically all the other Transformers I've lying around I'll put on a separate table, like not just toys alone but books and that kind of stuff. So here we go, this is basically my prime collection. Now, as I said, these are all of my mum's, and I always get worried about these because they're at my mum's house and I have two sisters, and any Transformers collector knows that, with little kids around, you've always got to make sure you keep them safe, especially if you want them looking tidy. But there we go, just looking at all of them there. I pretty much have all the characters that appeared. I don't have like the two other Predacons, I only have Predaking. Basically, all of these Transformers, the only one that's missing that I sold back was actually the Leader Class Optimus Prime. I remember I got it for the first time, and when I just got home, I just didn't like it at all, so I mostly kept with this. It's the first editions that I love the most, basically the ones that stand out. But yeah, anyway, there we go, that's all the Autobots and Decepticons I have there. You can see the majority of them. I was going to get Prowl, but I thought I've got Smokescreen instead. Okay, and now on to the collection that I adore the most, and so fact I actually made a shelf dedicated to both Autobot and Decepticon. Of course, this is the Autobot shelf. Now, if you'll notice here, I'll just go through the characters one by one. And so we've got Ultra Magnus, Leader Class, round the corner there, and then we've got him followed by Sentinel Prime. And then we've got the Takara version of Rodimus Prime. Now, I remember I saw this, and I saw the Hasbro version, I was kind of like, I'm not really too fan on it. I don't know, the colours just looked a little bit too off for me, so I decided to get the Takara version. And alongside with Ironhide in the back there, he is also a Takara version. And then behind him, of course, we've got Blur, and then we've got Jazz. I don't know what kind of pose I was trying to pull off there. And then we've got the Deluxe Bumblebee, who is way too big to be a Deluxe. And then at the back, we've got Optimus Prime. Now, of course, he has the Axe, which is with a Deluxe 2-pack. Now, I've had that Deluxe 2-pack since 2007, since my last family holiday. So, of course, I had to just keep that on with me, even though the Optimus Prime, which came in that 2-pack, and the Megatron didn't survive, obviously getting damaged. And then we've got Ratchet, to which I finally managed to find all of the pieces. Now, some of these Autobots I have here, I actually have like 3 of them, especially Prowl. I remember I got the original Prowl, and then of course when the Samurai Prowl came out, I got 2 of them, mainly for the benefit of having 2 wheels on the side. As for Ratchet as well, for the extra parts, because I just couldn't find them. And then Leader Class Bulkhead, which has all of his missiles, which I managed to re-find except for one. So that is still annoying, but that's why I just have him have his hand out there so you can't tell from the back. But then we got the Dinobots, which are kind of like, I've been going back and forth on the Dinobots. These are actually belong to my friend, who I don't know if he really wants these back or not. So I think for now, without telling him, I'm just going to keep these Dinobots here. But I have owned sets like this in the past, but they've been unfortunately damaged and broken and all that kind of stuff. And then of course the last one, got RC, who is also I believe a Takara version. I don't think she is. She isn't now. I got her, she was from Hasbro. And then obviously we got the back finally. Retgar, which I believe is the last one I got out of all of these. I can't remember. But there they are, all looking great together. That's one of my favourite shelves. I mean, I just had to put them all on a shelf at the end. I couldn't just leave them all in the box. I needed to make sure that the quality was still there. It's a great toy line, so let's move on to the Decepticons now. Okay, so here we are. Sorry if it's a little bit dark. But let's go from this side. We obviously have Oil Slick, Blitzwing, Skywarp, Starscream, Lugnut, and Swindle. Now, of course, you'll see 2 Skywarps, and I actually own 2 Starscreams as well. Mainly that's just because of missing parts reference, and I believe it was Starscream's face on my first one I got. I wasn't a big fan of because the paint was so awful on that, so that's why I got another one there. And as well from Megatron, I believe I had to buy 2 because the arm broke on the first one, which I still have somewhere lying about. And yeah, and we've got the Headmaster unit there, of course that comes with Bulkhead. And we've got Black Arachnia and 2 Soundwaves, which I also own, which must be hidden around somewhere. And Shockwave, which unfortunately is missing his finger, so hopefully someday I'll be able to get the purple Shockwave. And then we've got Lockdown and also Waspinator. Now I do actually have 2 sets of him as well. I do own a couple of sets of these. Mainly just for missing parts reference, that kind of stuff. And there we go, there's the Skywarp there with the small activators, Starscream, of course. totally misplaced, but I thought I'd put him somewhere. Starscream. Now I do obviously have the leader class Ironhide, which I'll hopefully find and show you as well. So I just thought I'd put him there just, for the benefit of having on display as well, instead of being hidden in a box. Okay, so here we have it. Now I'm going to show you the books first, so let's just get straight to it. Now obviously this is a War for Cybertron book. It was roughly kind of cheap, it was just £20 average. You can still get it on eBay today. And of course, along with that, I got the Transformers Prime book, which I've already done a review of that, so check that out if you're interested in the Prime concept and that kind of stuff. Now, after we come up to Transformers Animated, now I bought the 2 Allspark Almanac books because obviously half of it covers Season 1 and then the rest goes into Season 2 and 3. But then we also did another book which combines it and adds extra pages and tweak a few little bits. And this is a one you should get. Obviously, if you are a huge collector, then obviously you can get them too. But obviously, this is just like a huge, just whole pile of all the stuff from 1 and 2, just added extra stuff. So ideally, I would recommend you obviously get this. Of course, these two, we obviously go for a lot now. So obviously, this is the one that's really selling at the minute. So okay, so now here we are with the generations. Now, these are the generations I currently have on display. So basically, as we've got the Decepticons in the back, and then here we go towards the front. We've got Trailbreaker, and we've got just Prime Bumblebee, Rhinox, and then Jazz, all that kind of stuff. I mean, the generations was a line I was particularly interested in. It was just a shame I was more aware of it when obviously we started really selling, because the generations toy line from the games I wanted the most was Soundwave, and unfortunately Soundwave is incredibly rare to find nowadays, and when you do find him, he goes for an awful lot on eBay, so that's unfortunate. But I do remember in Toys R Us all the time seeing like Silverbolt, all that kind of stuff. All the generations line really are the best kind of quality when it comes to Transformers toys. And I think the last one I actually got was actually Rhinox himself. I was visiting a city, and as we were just leaving that city, there was a Toys R Us on the side, and I saw him and I thought, you know what, this is like, I think it was £12, or it would be $10 if you transfer it to America. And so basically I just thought, you know what, I was going to pick him up. He looked appealing, and I do like Rhinox as a character, and it's a good looking design. I mean, the new ones they've been doing recently have been very appealing. For another one is, for example, Rat Trap. He's another one I really want to get my hands on at some point. But yeah, no, and Rhinox is definitely like the last one I've gotten, really, I think, of all the Transformers toys actually. So, there we go there. And obviously the only Age of Extinction toy I did end up getting was the Transformers Age of Extinction, obviously Voyager Optimus Prime Invasion Mode. And yet again, this was just another reason I just thought, why not? I mean, I saw it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. Of course, the Transformers Age of Extinction toys weren't really appealing to me. I felt like they're the lowest quality of Transformers toys yet, and I just wasn't interested in them. Of course, that's my opinion. Obviously, people are appealed to toys very differently than others. So yeah, I didn't really find much. I mean, this was the only one I kind of was appealed to, just because it was the evasion mode sort of type. But the only thing kind of weakened on this figure recently is his arm here. It's kind of a bit loose, so this is worn out. So here we go. So this is moving on to kind of the other separate sort of things. Now I have laid out little trinkets to give you an idea of the past Transformers toys I've owned way back when I was little. Now, I've expressed in the past how Transformers Armada was the first Transformers incarnation I was introduced to, and of course I was obsessed with those toys. I got a bunch of those toys, especially the main cast and the Decepticons. The only one I didn't actually really get from the Decepticons was the Starscream, which was the original colours. Now, I obviously got the Thundercracker, which of course was leading towards the end of the series when obviously Starscream got a revamp, but that was pretty much the Armada figures I have now. They're broken, they're weakened. I mean, as you can see here from the two Optimus Prime guns here, I own both when he changed colours and when he didn't. Now, fun fact, although I'm not a big fan of Energon and Cybertron, the only figures I bought from those timelines was actually the Optimus Prime ones. I remember I got the Optimus Prime Energon, which I have no idea where he is. The last time I saw him, he was in a box in my attic, which you'd say is a loft. So that's pretty much it. Obviously, I owned a big fraction of the Transformers movies, and I still carry Megatron's head today. I think the only Decepticons from the movies I didn't own was Bone Crusher. That was about it. Oh, and the original Barricade. I remember I got Barricade with different colours in a 2-pack or something like that.
But yeah, no, the Transformers movies were the toys that really got me back into it. So obviously, I'd start off with that. But it was Transformers animated as well. But the movies did share the big impact of me buying the toys again. So now moving on to this now. Obviously, we all know about the Transformers sort of Lego thing was going off, and this was Ratchet. This was one I got for my birthday. I can't remember who bought it me, but I don't actually have the Lego. This is a mini thing that comes with it, but the actual Ratchet itself, I mean, it's Lego. What do you think happened to it? It's broken somewhere. The pieces were. You're never going to find them. I find the Lego Transformers to be completely risky to buy just because you're going to lose them. I just guarantee you're going to lose them somehow. It's going to be one part. And that's the whole thing with Lego for you. So there we go. I just keep this as like a mini trinket, and just kind of have it laying around. So, Robots in Disguise. Now, if you've been on my channel long enough, you'll know that I did own Strong Arm. Of course, I sold Strong Arm on eBay. So now I'm just stuck with Drift, which is overall one of my most favourite Robots in Disguise. Maybe I'll get more at some point. I think the Robots in Disguise toys I want the most is the Optimus Prime Supreme Mode and the Fall of Cybertron Redeco into Grimlock. And here we go here, Masterpiece Grimlock. I must have gotten this years ago now, and it's by far one of the ones I have on display the most just because it's a masterpiece. And this is perhaps like what I'm going to go into, just get the masterpieces from now on because they just look absolutely amazing in quality. I mean, I've got a few weapons on display stand here. Obviously, I do have the weapons for all of these. I have a huge box which is dedicated to all the accessories and that kind of stuff because obviously, over the years I want to keep them safe and that kind of stuff. So, but for Grimlock especially, I thought I'd have them out on display. They look very nice. I still like to keep my weapons safe because obviously I'm a big one of losing all of them. So don't worry, all the weapons and stuff of these figures here are in a box right over there, to which I'm talking about. You may be able to get a few glimpses of some stuff there, but anyway, yeah, let's move on to the last part. Now, these are the ones that I have currently at this house. And of course, Optimus Prime, this sort of Supreme over went with. I actually have it hidden in another box, so I've only just got it out for this occasion, just because I got nowhere else to put it, really. Of course, the Ratchet one, who I seem to be a big Ratchet fan with all the minifigures here. Yet again, this figure I just mainly got for. I went to Tesco's and I saw it, and my grandma said, "You just bought that for the sake of it, didn't you?" And I went, "Yeah, pretty much." I mean, I don't know what it is about it. It's like one of those stress balls you have. Like this, I just transform it and transform it back again. It's like my own little weird stress ball or something. So that's why I have this laying around a lot near my desk a lot when I'm working on videos that stresses me out. I just find that transforming Ratchet really does actually help, the whole stress level I have and stuff.
So that's it for my collection. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. Of course, I've got some big announcements this week. I just thought I'd share that news. I've got a few interesting videos coming out, so look forward to that. So until then, goodbye.